Okay, so our next founder that we have coming up is Franca, who is a founder of Hey Nouri. And what her and her co-founder are doing is they are solving a large and growing problem in the US and in the world around childhood obesity. And, you know, when I first met these two founders, I just thought that these are the two perfect people to be going after and tackling this problem. You know, Anna is a doctor. She understands, you know, the clinical side of this problem and how to tackle it. And Franca has, you know, 10 plus years working at McKinsey in consumer health. And between the two of them, they are, you know, just two experts that really know how to tackle this problem. And so it's no surprise that they've built a solution that works for providers, it works for hospital systems, and most importantly, it's working for families and they're seeing positive results. So they're in a position now where they have, you know, a low cost of acquisition to get, you know, their customers that are on board, and they're really just focused on continuing to build and to scale. So I'm excited to, you know, bring Franca up to tell you more. Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, everyone. I'm Franca. I am one of the co-founders of Hey Nouri, which is the first telemedicine player that offers pediatrician-led, insurance-covered medical care for the 1 in 5 children in the US that have obesity and that are affected by the obesity crisis. Before I created Hey Nouri, I spent 10 years at McKinsey in consumer health. I built for the likes of Abbott or Bausch & Lomb, fast-scaling digital consumer health businesses, often regulated by the FDA. Anna is a medical doctor. She has real clinical experience in pediatric obesity, but she's also a Harvard MBA. Our tech lead, Vlad, was one of Abbott's core tech leads for their biggest consumer product, Lingo, and Steph is both ex-Novartis, ex-McKinsey, and also has a Harvard MBA, as if we needed another one. So we are the right team to do this. But let's talk about what's going on today. 1 in 5 children, so that's 20% of our children, have obesity. With that comes prediabetes, hypertension. 50% of our patients have diagnosed depression, and our average patient age is 13. Okay? What happens today is if you have kids, you know the annual physical, it's coming. The doctor takes the height, the weight. They say, oh, your child has morbid obesity. That's not great. Try cutting out the soda. See you next year, guys. As if that would help anyone. There's less than 20,000 spots in specialty centers that get real results for the kids and can actually help them. For 15 million children that have obesity, there's another 15 that are overweight, so our customer pipeline is pretty solid. What happens is families are left desperately for help, and they're searching online, and it's just a complete care desert today. And here comes Hey Nouri. Our treatment always starts with an in-depth doctor consultation. We spend 45 minutes with the patient. That's way longer than any normal GP ever does. We do lab works, and we do prescribe medication, including GLP-1s, where it's applicable. We then have weekly coaching that includes nutrition education, behavior change for both the kids and the parents to make it a whole family solution and something that can be sustainable long term. And we make it fun. Our daily app for the kids has over 90% daily active users. The kids love it. They can talk to their coach. The parents can talk to the doctor. Everyone is pretty engaged, and it doesn't feel like healthcare or sterile or boring or like a chore. It feels like fun. It's about the kid being like a high school athlete and getting a good diet for that. It's something that the kids genuinely enjoy. And it is changing lives. This is Alana. She started as a patient in January. She had prediabetes until a couple of weeks ago when we did follow-up labs, and it has been reversed. She also lost about 15 pounds, and she started playing tennis. She's one of our really happy patients where we see that even in the span of just a few weeks and months, because kids' metabolisms are working well in general, change can happen and can really change their life trajectory. We get a lot of love from our customers on both social media and in our feedback. And we also do collect data extensively. I think the most important metric is kids lose on average 3 pounds per month. That's ideal is within this sort of, we don't want them to lose too fast. We don't want them to lose too little. So this is a very sustainable weight loss. And that's true for both patients that are on GLP-1s and that aren't. GLP-1s are like a tool in our toolbox, but it's the core is our care model, which is centered around behavior change. Our traction. We had a closed beta running with 50 patients until end of December to prove out outcomes, to learn more, to really figure out what works and iterate on our care model. We had great results there, the 3 pounds, the 90%. Since then, we've become a network with most major insurers nationwide. So we cover about 85% of all commercial lives in the US. We can cover, most families have $0 copay with us. And we're doubling every month in customer size right now. We are hiring clinicians like crazy. I think 2 weeks ago, I gave the same presentation. I said we have 20. I just checked, we now have 28 clinicians. And I think by the end of the month, we'll probably have 35. Because we do have our clinicians, our coaches, our doctors at the core of it right now. And that's one of the things we're really working very hard on scaling further. And we have a lot of tailwinds. Childhood obesity is the #1 priority of the US Health Department. If you go to their website right now, you see that at the top of their list. There's a bunch of policy changes that help us. It also helps us that a lot of parents have seen success on GLP-1s. They see the side effects are manageable. They see they're safe. The FDA has approved them for children, and the American Association of Pediatrics has actually endorsed them as a key part of treatment, moving away from let's wait and see, cut out the soda, to early and effective treatment, because the consequences on your body of having obesity are severe the longer it goes on. And what we're also seeing is with Trump RX and payer coverage increasing, this becomes now affordable for most families, both commercially insured and on Medicaid. We just last week got our first Medicaid license in Florida. So pretty soon we're going to be covering that population as well. This is a huge opportunity. As I said, in the US, 30 million kids are affected. If all of them would be treated, which they aren't today, this represents $100 billion in healthcare spend per year. Our starting market is children 10 to 18, commercially insured, but we are expanding and experimenting a lot with Medicaid, and we are experimenting with younger ages because obesity isn't just a teenager problem. It actually starts as early as toddler ages. Our 5-year obtainable revenue is at $1 billion. We believe we can get there. That would represent around 150,000 customers. When we compare ourselves to similar players in similar markets, that's very obtainable for us because there's nobody else right now. When we look at the obesity space, it's pretty crowded. Oh no. You can't see this, just I can see this. The obesity space for adults is pretty crowded. Adult obesity rates in the US are actually starting to go down. Something that has been rising for decades is starting to go down because for adults, treatments exist, both out of pocket and covered by insurance. But in children's digital health, there's just nothing. Nobody is addressing them because there's structural barriers to entry for all the adult players. May that be COPPA, data and data privacy regulation, lack of insurance coverage for any digital player, or just the fact that kids aren't many adults and you do need a different care model to care for them properly. Our revenue is fully funded by insurances right now. We make on average around $600 per patient per month. What we call the hot phase of treatment lasts around 9 to 10 months, depends a bit on GLP-1 versus not. That represents a bit more than $6,000 in ARPU per year at a gross margin of 60%. We have an LTV of almost 4K, and we put that in comparison to our CAC, which is $80. So in the first session, the first time the doctor talks to a patient, we already break even and a bit more. And the lifetime value that we see in the patients and the retention is pretty good. Even when we have small operational glitches, which you have as a startup, our customers bear with us because they really, really want this. They're desperate for a solution for their children. They are so happy when they find us. They're like, I've been searching for this for years. Where have you been? Well, now we're here. We finished our closed beta last year. This year, we launched an app for the kids in the App Store. We launched an app for the parents in the App Store. We have a fully functional AI-driven co-pilot for our clinicians called Bean that enables coaching and performance management of our clinicians across the board, because we know we want to give great care to every patient, and monitoring that using AI to analyze every single data point is really important to us. We want to be the best player, the right player. And 2026 is all about scaling, making sure every process is automated, from billing to prior authorizations to customer retention. If anyone does feel like they are out of the hot phase, how do we maintain them? We want to make sure we are a tech-first company. And then what the other thing on the roadmap for us is AI first. We want to move away from being paid for a specific service, a session, and move towards being paid for an outcome, which is both in the interest of the insurers or the employers as well as us, because we do this the right way and we do have great results, and this will set us apart in the long run. Thank you so much. This was me talking very fast. Any questions?
Great job, Franca. Any questions?
Great presentation, thanks. As far as the coaching, how much of the coaching is nutrition-based?
It's about 50-50, but it really depends on the child. So it's a mix of nutrition education, which is more important in the beginning, but also behavior change. So thinking about things like, if your problem is overeating, we say serve the dinner at the counter, and before you get the next portion, drink a large glass of water and walk around the house one time. So it's like, it's a mix. And it really depends on where the child is in their motivation as well. Like some kids are in it and ready, and some kids aren't, and we always account for that and make sure it's individualized and personal treatment. It's not a curriculum.
Thank you.
I had a question about the clinician pipeline, because I feel like that's the problem now. Going to the doctor, it's always rushed, right? So how do you make sure you're getting top tier nurse practitioners, doctors, ones that actually have the capacity and time to, have these appointments and make them meaningful?
Yeah. So we're just like, that's one of the things we're learning right now, is how to recruit at scale. We have a pretty solid 4-interview process for each candidate. One of these interviews is with one of our advisors, a member of the American Association of Pediatrics, and their KOL on pediatric obesity. He's a specialist in the field. So we check both the emotional fit. Is this a person that you can trust as a parent? Is this a person that has they're all board certified? We only work with doctors right now. We don't do NPs or PAs for complexity reasons. We assess their technical knowledge, if you will, and then also their digital and tech savviness. Because we are digital first, our doctors do need to use our platforms. And so we test for all these things quite systematically and have everything codified and standardized, and are now ramping up recruiting as fast as we can.
Thank you. One more question? Anyone? Okay, we're good. Thank you.
Thank you.